9C. So today also we will continue economics chapter, and in previous topic we were discussing about this graph. Okay, so based on this graph we have some questions. So let's discuss these questions. Question number 1: has the literacy rate of the population increased since 1951? So yes, we can say that the literacy rate, yes, literacy rate has increased. Okay, so let's see the data. Like in 1951, the male literacy rate was 28%, and if you see this in 2011, see the male literacy rate, it is round about 82%. So in 51, male literacy rate was 28%, and in 2011 it has become 82%. So yes, we can say that literacy rate has increased from 1951 to 2011. Let us check female literacy rate. See the green graph. It was round about 11%. Now this has become in 2011 to 65%. It was 11%, and in 2011 it has become 65%. So this shows that the literacy rate has increased. So the answer of first one is yes, and then you can write the two data. Literacy rate in 1951 for male 28%, for female 11%. Literacy rate in 2011 for male 82% and female 65%. Okay, so we can see from the graph that the literacy rate is highest in 2011. This also you can mention in this answer. Okay, now let's move to question number 2. In which year India has highest literacy rate? So answer is 2011. According to this graph which is given to us is 2011. Now question number 3. Why literacy rate is high among the males of India? Because we know in our country the males are given more preference than female. Okay, in our country males dominate the females. That's why parents, they usually send or prefer to male child to the school than the female child. I am talking about the population which are in remote areas. Okay, and we know that our country is a village country, so where males are usually given more preference than females. So this is the answer number 3. Now question number 4 is, why are women less educated than men? So women are less educated than men because of preference. I just told you male are given more preference. Males are given more preference in our country. This is the reason that female literacy rate is quite lower than the males. Is it clear? Now question number 5. How would you calculate literacy rate in India? So for calculating literacy rate, you can just see this formula. Literacy rate is equal to number of literate people upon population of India. Population of India. And when we have to calculate rate, so we need to multiply this whole with 100. Literacy rate equals to number of literate people upon population. Children, this is understood. This is of India and population of India into 100. So this is answer number 5. Now let's move on to question number 6. What is your projection about India's literacy rate? So like we have been shown here the graph. Okay, now if we see the last 10 years trends, then we can project India's literacy rate to be 78% in 2020. We can estimate that India's literacy rate is going to be 78% in 2020, and male we can like write with this symbol 89%, and female 78%. Okay, so this is completed. Let's move on to the activity given on page 22. Everyone just see this activity here. Count the number of boys and girls studying in your school or in your neighboring co-ed school. Okay, co-ed schools are those schools where boys and girls study together. Ask the school administrator to provide you with the data of boys and girls studying in the classroom. Study the difference, if any, and explain for reasons in the classroom. So this is just a normal activity. Nowadays it may not implement to our school, because here we see that parents give equal importance to boys and girls. But if you will go to the remote area, there you will find that more of the boys they attend the school than the girls. Reason that girls are asked to get busy in the household activities. Is this clear? So let's move on to this next topic. Please see this paragraph. Estimate as stated in the budget documents of Union State Government, Reserve Bank of India, the expenditure on education as a percentage of GDP has declined to 2.7% in 2017-18. The literacy rate have increased from 18% in 1951 to 74% in 2010-11. Literacy is not only a right, it is also needed if the citizens are to perform their duties and enjoy their rights properly. Again, the reason is because we know if we are literate, then only we know about our rights, isn't it? If a like uneducated person is there, that person is unaware about what he has rights in the country. So one should be educated, then that citizen can perform their duties and they can enjoy the rights properly. Okay, it is very easy to make fool of uneducated person or illiterate person. Okay, but if a literate person is there or educated person is there, you cannot make fool of that person, isn't it? However, a vast difference is noticed across different sections of the population. Literacy among the male is near about 16.6% higher than 16% higher than females, and is about 16.1% in higher in urban areas as compared to rural areas. Yes, I am talking about that we are still very backward in rural areas. In urban areas we find that people are more aware about the importance of education. They want their children, whether they have a boy child or a girl child, they prefer to send them to the school and become literate. Okay, now in 2011 literacy rate varied from 94% in Kerala to 62% in Bihar. See, in Kerala, which is one of the which shows highest literacy rate in our country, and whereas in Bihar we see it is just 62%. The primary school system has expanded to over 8.58 lakh in 2013 to 14. Unfortunately, this huge expansion of schools has been diluted by the poor quality of schooling and high dropout rates. We know that though we are running the school, government is running the school, but children, they don't go to the school. So various programs are run by the government so that they can attract the children to go to the school. Okay, our government has also started Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which is a significant step towards providing elementary education to all children in the age group of 6 to 14 by 2010. Okay, and it is a time bound initiative of the central government in partnership with the states, the local government and the community for achieving the goal of universalization of elementary education. Along with it, bridge courses and back to school camps have been initiated to increase the enrollment in elementary education. Now we know that the government is running midday meal also, midday meal program for the children, so that at least for eating they go to the school, and if suppose they have to just get busy with the household activity, because some of the children, they help their parents in the field work, I'm talking about the rural areas, so they skip the classes and go to the home. If there will be food for them there, then they will not leave the school. So such programs help students to attend the school, isn't it? So that their attendance can be improved. The 11th plan endeavored to increase the enrollment in higher education of the 18 to 23 years age group to 15% by 2011 to 12 and to 21% by 12th plan. The strategy focuses on increasing access, quality, adoption of state-specific curriculum modification, vocationalization and networking on the use of information technology. So you see, state, they are setting up the curriculum which will help the student to learn about the vocational education so that they can earn in future. They are taught with the computers, that is information technology, and they have made the plan which focus on distance education, convergence of formal, non-formal education, distance and IT education institutions. Over the past 50 years, there has been significant growth in the number of universities. So you see that the government is implementing many programs so that these children, they get proper education. More number of universities and institutions have been opened in our country. So let us discuss this data which is given in table 2.1, where number of institutions of higher education, enrollment and faculty. We will just have an idea about it. Look at this table, everyone. In 1950, number of colleges were 750, number of universities 30, students 2,63,000, teachers in universities and college were 24,000. Now you all can see in 1990 to 91, it has become number of college 7,346, university 177, students 49,25,000, teachers 2,72,000. And let us jump on the data, otherwise it will take time. Let us see 2012 to 13. The number of colleges 37,204, number of universities 628, students they are 20. So number of students 2,23,02,938 and teachers 9,25,396. Let us see 2016 and 17. Number of colleges 42,338, and number of universities 723, and students 28 lakh, and teachers, they are not increased. So you all can see that this data is just telling about the number of universities and number of colleges, how they increased as the years passing by. So let us just discuss the answers, the questions which are given here to you. Children, this is the data. In old books this data is missing, so I just missed this point. Just see the number of teachers in university, they too have increased. This is 14,70,119. In old books it is misprinted, that's why I skipped it. Let's move on. So question number 1, is the increase in the number of colleges adequate to admit the increasing number of students? So we can say no, because the colleges have increased but the teachers number is not appropriate. Okay, we know from 1950 onwards the colleges have increased about 50 times, while the students have increased by about 110 times. Okay, so they need teachers also. Question number 2, do you think we should have more number of universities? I think universities are enough. We need not to have more university, although each university will need to affiliate more colleges to cater the increase in the number of colleges. So we can say universities are enough. We are enough with the number of universities, but under the university we know colleges are there, so we have to increase number of colleges rather increasing the number of universities. So the answer of second one is also no. Okay, question number 3, what is the increase noticed among the teachers in the year 1998-1999? So the increase of teachers from 1996 to 97 is very marginal, that means very less. Okay, that is just about 6.5%, whereas the number of students during same period have gone up to 9.8%. You see, number of students have increased but number of teacher is not adequate. Last question, question number 4, what is your idea about future colleges and universities? Future colleges and universities must impart skill based education. What we are expecting to these colleges and universities, we want skill based education. As you know, in our new education policy, national education policy, government is trying to give more of skill based education. Okay, so that the student, if is not getting job, he or she can at least they can earn their livelihood, isn't it? So skill based education should be there, and there should be no further requirement for academic degrees which do not give jobs to the student. You see, most of the students, they obtain the good degrees but they don't get job, then this create the feeling of uneasiness within them. Okay, they feel bad, like though they have high degrees but still they are unemployed. So it's better to have it's better to have skill based education rather having these academic degrees. Okay, so this much for today. I hope you have understood. Please ask your queries in your comment box. Thank you everyone.